The antediluvian epoch was a unique period. It was a time teeming with burgeoning knowledge, yet having a vitriolic, split personality. Is there a hidden relationship between our exploding knowledge and technologies and antediluvian knowledge and technology? Indeed, there is. And the disturbing prophetic connection is crucial for this unprepared generation. Corruption of knowledge doomed the ancient world to destruction. Without the proper morals and wisdom, the application of such knowledge and its offspring, technology, is a road that only leads to disaster and apocalypse. The descendants of Cain applied their corrupted knowledge in defiance to God. The deployment of the seven spurious sciences was void of any moral governances or acknowledgement of the true God, restricting what the unintended consequences would be. All was heralded with hubris under the guise of advancement or progress. Does this ring familiar? We live in an age of unprecedented advancements, all accomplished in the name of progress. We have quickly surpassed our ability to assess what we are achieving or where we are heading, due to the pandemic pace of ever-increasing knowledge and advancements. Our generation has surrendered its authority, not to mention its ability, to decide what technologies should be advanced and just how we would hope to shape our future. Not only are we speeding headlong into an unknown future, but also there are neither adequate restrictions nor standards governing our burgeoning knowledge. The world is now drunk. It has become intoxicated with technology, utilizing the internet as an efficient cyber highway to distribute unfiltered knowledge, technology, and rebellion. Our civilization is standing at the precipice of unknown disaster, teetering at the hands of our own intelligence. But we do not perceive the danger. We only perceive the paradoxical opportunities of false hope. We have spawned a world intoxicated with unrestricted employment of our arrogance. All advancements are double-edged swords that can cut in the direction of good or in the direction of evil. Just as the science of splitting the atom gave us tremendous sources of energy, it also gave us atomic bombs. To this conclusion, then, understand that modern science is rooted in and nourished by the originating seven spurious sciences. As you will recall, the great antediluvian sin was the sexual union between the human species with the angelic realm. The parallel antediluvian sin was that Cain's progeny lived out their futile lives in a perpetual state of defiance and rebellion against God. A generation so self-deluded and so dismissive of God could easily be deceived into doing or believing anything. The notion of angels copulating with humans still permeates modern society. Astonishingly, numerous Hollywood productions seemingly advocate violations of the laws of creation. Films depict beings from the angelic realm having sex with human females, which produces in most encounters hybrid offspring. This rogue notion is a common theme in horror films depicting satanic cults and the theatrical theme for the creation of the Antichrist and his appearance in the last terminal generation. Similar seeds of transgression have been well planted in another unexplained genre that is transfixing this unsuspecting generation: the alien phenomenon. It is yet another diabolical deception and violation of the laws of creation. One may find it surprising, but the Vatican recognizes the extent of alien encounters and the size of the universe, dictating there must be alien life forms, as testified to by the high-ranking Vatican representative for alien life forms and UFOs, Monsignor Corrado Balducci. If one assumes that alien abductions are deceptive tactics employed by fallen angels, they might be the most likely method to introduce another form of Nephilim. Almost all abductees report similar experiences. They are probed and experimented upon. DNA samples are taken from them, or they are implanted with something. All memories of these experiences are lost unless retrieved through extraordinary techniques, such as hypnosis. I am not defending the credibility of all such encounters, but one must take a step back to consider the sheer number of them, just as the Vatican has. They are ever increasing in numbers, escalating to some form of climax or revelation. Combined with all other UFO mythology, one must at least acknowledge that something is indeed taking place. I believe the alien phenomenon is a spurious deception that is designed for our easily deluded but technologically advanced terminal generation. If there is indeed any truth to the abduction stories, whether they may be angelically inspired or actual aliens, then the door is left wide open for a similar violation of the laws of creation that occurred during antediluvian times. The scientific experimentation aliens tend to be concerned with is with regard to DNA and sexual reproduction. The common theme is that aliens appear to be exploring the compatibility of their DNA to that of humans to create a hybrid being, half human and half alien. This is exactly what was done in antediluvian times with Amaka Seth. Expect that such a violation of the laws of creation will be presented to humankind after the world has accepted we are not alone in the universe, and after some form of elaborate hoax, which will be a coming out celebration for these so-called aliens. It is as though we are being seduced into this notion, only waiting for the right time to officially announce it, when the people of the world are ready to accept their role as part of a universe teeming with alien life. Within this elaborate deception, the connection to the unifying mystery religion and the curious antediluvian world becomes clear. Crossbreeding aliens with humans will create a so-called superior human being that no doubt will be larger, stronger, and smarter, and will live longer. If all these traits are not inclusive of this new superhuman, then why do it at all? A superhuman would downgrade the average human, making him or her obsolete. Dull humans resisting the new utopia will not be considered a part of the new age, but relegated for extinction or slavery. Inferior beings will serve no other useful purpose. They would be considered uncomplimentary reminders of an inferior past. Someone not embracing the coming utopian future will be considered mundane, worthy only for toil, servitude, or extermination, just as blackheads were regarded in antediluvian Sumerian lore. The mundane will serve those who embrace the new age of universal intelligence, including the new superhuman, and, of course, the aliens. All these characteristics will be wrapped within the coming mystery religion of Babylon. Superhuman crossbreeds will be cleverly presented as part of the natural evolution, ascension to a new plane of existence, en route to humankind's right to full-fledged godhood. Superhumans may very well be DNA-altered demigods, contemporary Nephilim. Aliens would be considered gods, just as our ancestors considered them. Only in this new age will we understand gods as beings more advanced technologically, mentally, and spiritually. They will be considered gods, but more specifically, evolved gods. We humans may want to evolve and aspire into their state. Under this new age, humankind will be offered a cosmic gift unlike any offered before, or so we will be led to believe. These false doctrines will be the norm. We are gazing at the precipice of human evolution. We are about to vibrate and evolve into a higher being in mass numbers. We will collectively ascend into another level of godhood, just as the mystic religions have taught for 6,000 years. Those who will reject the gift of godliness will be debased as pariah vermin that need to be exterminated for the betterment of humankind. Genocide will once more disfigure this generation in unprecedented levels of savagery. If the laws of creation are not to be broken through the procreation of a new species via the union of two distinct beings, then we can brace ourselves for another violation of creation. This will swing about in the form of our own advances in technology, in gene or DNA manipulations. Humankind is within a precious few short years of both mapping and completely understanding DNA. Having that ability will allow us to create heretofore never thought of life forms which might both benefit and or destroy our way of life. It is easy to envision a time where scientists will also begin to manipulate DNA to improve the human being as a species. Once we have changed our DNA and improved our species biologically, we will have created a superhuman race. In other words, humankind is on the precipice of creating a contemporary Nephilim all on its own, even without receiving any assistance offered from aliens or angels. Although this future modern Nephilim, known in today's mythos as the New Man, is more than plausible and attainable in the next 10 to 20 years, I do not believe the modern Nephilim will be a totally human-sponsored endeavor. It is my contention that this future achievement will likely come in partnership with the angelically sponsored aliens through cross-pollination of DNA. Remember, this is the true form of Nephilim, a union between angels and humans. Nephilim and Makkah Sethites were created from within a cloud by the gods. DNA manipulation via aliens. A question may arise at this point. Why is crossbreeding of different beings or animals sinful? The answer invites another question. What God has created should not be altered or violated. For who can compare with the wisdom of God? And who could improve upon what God has already created? Only delusional pride can account for such unbridled arrogance. We do not know the unintended consequences of altering the laws of creation. Only God knows. Such alterations ought to be left within the domain of the Creator. Such is the spirit of the law provided for us in Leviticus 19:19 and 37. Do not mate different kinds of animals. Keep all my decrees and all my laws, and follow them. I am the Lord. This law does not restrict interbreeding of like species, such as dogs with other forms of dogs, but it clearly instructs against crossbreeding dogs with cats. Note the language. The key words in this example are the words kinds of animals, which was consistent in Scripture for all different species. The same language is employed in the flood narrative, where so many so-called expert antiquarians tend to co-opt in support of discrediting the Bible. Noah sailed off with every form of land animal according to its kind, 2 by 2 for unclean animals and 7 by 7 with clean animals. Clearly, Noah did not take every form of every species. The ark was not large enough to do so. And that is not what the Bible recorded. Every kind of species was represented on the ark according to its kind, and whether it was clean or unclean determined the numbers taken. Only the appropriate representatives of those species required to repopulate the earth after the flood were taken. In fact, the Quran backs up this assertion, recording Noah only took pairs of each species onto the ark. The respectful appreciation of the efficiency and accuracy of the language dictates a much more feasible and believable flood narrative. So much for the vitriolic cynics. With the advent of DNA technology, we are about to completely obliterate this decree in unheard of ways, not to mention what we are prepared to do to our own sanctioned beings. Violation of the laws of creation are sins of the ancient epoch and will be sins of our generation. The Quran has noted that those who prostrate to false gods are thus deluded to tamper with God's creation. Such potential violations bring to mind legendary antediluvian Greek beings and fantastic beings from other cultural mythologies. These mythologies teem with fantastic examples of interbreeding different kinds of animals. Technology is quickly advancing to the level that such creations will no longer be relegated to the domain of the fantastic, but rather to the domain of the ordinary extenuation of our abilities. One begins to ponder whether or not this form of violation extended beyond the realm of the Nephilim and into the realm of other animals. Were the ancient mythologies of humans with the bodies of horses and humans with wings, along with so many other fantastic accounts of human-animal interbreeding, fanciful creations of the imagination? Or were they very real indeed? Perhaps centaurs and other mythological beings actually existed. Perhaps their existence accounts for such a law being given to the Israelites as the one in Leviticus 19. A plausible nightmare earmarked for this terminal generation may reoccur, all backed by the powerful descendants of the Nephilim.